All right, so in this video we're going to demonstrate how to create a preset key for the Uni-3. Now what's important to understand is that we actually have three different types of preset keys. You have broadly two different areas, and that's whether or not the preset key requires data. So I've got a preset key where no data at all is required. An example there might be to toggle the auto manual print or to set up a save preset where we simply turn it off and on. It's like a toggle switch. Broadly, we have on the other side a key that requires some sort of data. And we break that down into two sub areas where either the data is changing every single time we use the key, or the data is staying the same every time we use the key. And so it's important to recognize the differences between those, because at a certain point in the process we have to enter in what that data is going to be, or do a different process to indicate that either the operator needs to enter data or that no data is required. So let's begin by hopping into the menu now, to the area where we're going to set up our preset keys. This is going to be in the programming menu, and that's 9000 mode. So we'll go ahead and key that in on our scale. 9000, followed by the mode key. And again, that brings us into the programming menu. And the place where we're going to do the preset key programming is under P04. So now when I enter into the program menu, I start out at P01 PLU. So I'm going to come down with the down arrow through my menu until I find P04 preset key. I'll go ahead and hit enter to go into the preset key programming mode. Now it's at this point where you have to be very careful with the buttons that you press. Anything that you do out of order will sort of break the process, and it's usually best to simply start over. And so we've got a 5-step plan that will help guide you through the process of programming a preset key. The very first step is to determine what the flag number is for the preset key that you want to program. So here it's very, very important to have a copy of your technical manual, which will give a list of all the different preset flags that you might want to use in programming your preset keys. Everything from PLUs to changing prices and subtotals and toggling things on and off. So you have to know what all those flags are. In our example, the first example that we do here, we're going to go ahead and create a preset key for the auto manual print toggling. Now this is an example of one that does not require any data at all. The flag for the auto manual toggle is flag number 75. So the first thing I need to do is key the number 75. 75. Now I want you to notice that I did not press the enter key here. I simply keyed my flag number 75, because step number 2 in our process is to press the PLU key. Now you notice when I press that PLU key that my flag that's on my upper line of the 2-line display here lets me know that it recognized that I keyed in for flag 75 and that it's the auto print mode that's going to allow me to toggle back and forth between those. Now step number 3 in our plan, this is where we have to deal with the data. Now because the auto manual toggle does not require any specific data, we're simply going to press the 0 key. Now, important to note, that's the number 0, not the function 0. Step number 4, I simply want to press the button that I wish to program. Now for the auto manual print, I'm going to go ahead and just use the letter P for print to help me remember. Once I press that button, I see the number here show up, number 43. Well, that's the 43rd button in my counting of all of these keys, so that's how you know that you've pressed the P. And once I've completed that, I can press the mode button, step 5. That will allow me to exit out. Now if I continue to press mode so that I'm back into operation, I can test that the auto manual program preset button here has taken place. So I'm going to press the P button. I see it very briefly shows auto on the display, and I get a little triangle above the word auto on the overlay. If I press the button again, it should say manual for a brief moment, and the triangle goes away. So that's how I know that that particular function is working. So now if we go back into the program mode with 9000 mode, again we're at the program menu, we're going to hit enter to go into there, and we're going to come down to P04 preset key. We're going to work through setting up the other two types of preset keys that we have. So I'm going to hit enter to go into the preset key, and again this is where our 5-step plan starts to take over again. So in our next example, we're going to go ahead and create a preset key that has data, but the data is going to change all the time. I call this a dynamic preset key. We're going to create a preset key that will allow us to change the price of a particular product that we call up on the scale. And there's a couple of different options here. One is for a fixed price change, and the other is for a unit price change. And if you want to change either of those two kinds of PLUs, you'll want to make both of these preset keys. For our example, we're going to go ahead and do a fixed price preset key. And the flag, that's our first step, remember, is to key the flag number. The flag number for a fixed price preset key is flag number 3. So I'm going to press the number 3. Step number 2 is to press the PLU button. Again, up here, I see the F/P. That tells me fixed price. That's what that's for. So it recognized the flag that I've entered. Step number 3 is to key in the data. Well, when changing the price of a product, the price might be different all the time. So it's a dynamically changing thing. So similar to a key that doesn't require data at all, I'm simply going to press the number 0 here. The 4th step is to press the key that I want to program. For the sake of our example, I'm simply going to press the letter F for fixed price. I see the number 50 show up that corresponds with that key. And then step 5, I'm going to press the mode button to exit out of the programming mode. If I continue to press mode, it'll take me back out into the operating mode, and we're able to test that the fixed price preset works. Let's give that a shot now. In an earlier video, we created a cinnamon roll preset key. Let's change the price of that. I'm going to call up my PLU first. 477 PLU. That's my cinnamon roll, and I see that it's programmed to be $1.39 for every cinnamon roll. We want to change the price. Maybe it's a day old because it was yesterday's cinnamon roll, so we're going to give it to the customer for 99 cents today. So I have to key the new price first, then I'm going to press my fixed price preset. It's important to do them in that order. So my new price will be 99 cents. I'll do 99 and then my letter F that we programmed for the fixed price preset. And we see that that has taken place and it is now set for 99 cents. So now let's go ahead and create the third type of preset key here, and that is one where the data is fixed. It's always the same every single time. So let's go ahead and hop into our programming menu, 9000 mode, 9000 mode. Again, we get to the program menu. I'm going to press enter to go into that and come down to P04 preset key. Press enter to go into that particular menu, and again, this is where our 5-step process is going to begin. Step number 1, we have to key the flag number for the type of preset that we want to make. In this example, we're going to create a preset key that corresponds with the PLU. In an earlier video, we walked through making a PLU for a cinnamon roll. That was PLU number 477. But you know, we might always remember that it's 477 to call it up that way. So we just want to create a nice hotkey that calls up a cinnamon roll. We can create our overlay to put it in there, and the label says cinnamon roll, and that's all you have to remember. The flag for a PLU preset is flag number 1. So I'm going to key the number 1. Step number 2, press the PLU button. Again, we see our flag up here. It recognizes that we've entered the PLU flag. Step number 3, this is for the data. Now, unlike the other two, we actually have some data that's always going to be the same. And in the case of a PLU, the data is the PLU number. So I'm going to key my PLU number 477. That was what we used to make our cinnamon roll. So that becomes the data for this particular preset key. Once I've entered that, I'm going to go ahead and press the button that I'd like to program. I'm going to, just for the sake of example, use the letter C for cinnamon roll, because that'll be easy for us to remember. I see the number 63 show up on the display. That's the number corresponding to the key. And then I can press the mode button to exit back out. Now, a quick note at this point. If you have lots of PLUs, which you probably do in your store, that you want to program, at this point you can simply repeat the last couple of steps to enter more. So I can put in 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. And I can do multiple PLUs in that way without having to exit all the way back out when I'm doing multiple PLUs presets at the same time. I don't have to rekey that flag number every single time. But once I'm finished, I'm going to go ahead and hit that mode button, and I'll continue to hit mode until I'm back into operation. So now let's test and see that our cinnamon roll preset key is working. We'll press the number C, and there's our cinnamon roll. We didn't even have to remember that it was PLU number 477. And again, you can program multiple PLUs in the same session without having to come all the way back out each time. So we can test those as well. We created a few presets up here for PLUs 1, 2, and 3, which we already have some data on here for. We got some ribs, top sirloin, whole round steak. So we see that those PLU preset keys were able to successfully come through as well.